One Battle After Another is the latest release by acclaimed filmmaker Paul Thomas Anderson, and it's been getting an incredible amount of buzz ever since those early screenings, with it predicted to be one of the leading contenders for Best Picture at the Academy Awards. On release, the critical adulation was sky high, with the film rocking a 94% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, as well as some very impressive audience scores. When the nominees for the Academy Awards were announced, the film predictably dominated, with it receiving 13 nominations, and in the race for the most coveted award of them all, Best Picture, it was a two-horse race, One Battle After Another versus Ryan Coogler's Sinners. Despite going against strong opposition, One Battle After Another came out on top, winning Best Picture, whilst also picking up another 5 awards on the night, including Best Director, Best Supporting Actor, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Film Editing, and Best Casting. So in today's video, I'm going to be discussing how One Battle After Another won Hollywood's biggest prize, and what made the film so special. So, One Battle After Another is an action thriller, written, directed, and produced by Paul Thomas Anderson, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Sean Penn, and newcomer Chase Infinity in lead roles. The film focuses on former far-left revolutionary Pat Calhoun. During his heyday, Pat and his girlfriend Perfidia, played by Teyana Taylor, were part of the French 75 group, who broke out detained immigrants from detention centres and bombed government buildings, with Pat earning himself the nickname Rocket Man. Perfidia uses her sexuality to manipulate the men around her, including Sean Penn's Stephen J. Lockjaw, who's a commanding officer. One sexual encounter between the pair leads to Perfidia falling pregnant, which Perfidia sees as nothing more than an inconvenience to her revolutionary goals. Once she's given birth, Perfidia neglects her parenting responsibilities and continues as before. During one fateful bank robbery, Perfidia murders a security guard before being arrested. Stephen J. Lockjaw is entranced by Perfidia and agrees to let her go into witness protection rather than prison in exchange for information on her fellow French 75 colleagues. With this information, Stephen's able to hunt down members of the group, killing them one by one. In response to this, Pat is forced to go into hiding with his daughter, with them now living under the names Bob and Willa Ferguson. In the 16 years that follow, Stephen makes a real name for himself within the US security agencies, and is offered the chance to become a part of the secret white supremacy group, the Christmas Adventurers Club. But for him to become a fully fledged member of the group, he has to find out if Willa is in fact his child, and if she is, then get rid of her, as the Christmas Adventurers Club certainly would not approve of his interracial transgressions. So that's the main bulk of what the film's about. You've got Stephen trying to abduct Willa, and Bob trying to stop him. And first of all, when discussing a film like this, you've got to talk about the performances. Obviously, Leonardo DiCaprio is excellent. He always is. But it still needs to be said. Now that he's at this stage of his career, he's taken on very different roles. Less glamorous roles, where he looks suave and charismatic. And I must say, I'm really enjoying this direction he's taking. He's got so much range to his acting, so you can buy him in near enough any role he takes. He's always convincing, he's always committed. Although, if you were paid a reported $25 million per role, I guess anyone would be committed. But this is yet another very impressive performance from DiCaprio, and he deserved his nominee for Best Lead Actor. Playing opposite him in the earlier sections of the film is Teyana Taylor as Perfidia. I could have described her as Bob's girlfriend, but Perfidia is the type of person that would not appreciate being referred to in that way. She's very much her own person. A strong character who takes agency in every situation. She's not in the film a ton, but her impact is undeniable, with Taylor able to impressively portray a character that exudes strength, confidence, and sexuality. I was happy to see her recognised for her performance, with her picking up a nomination for Best Supporting Actress. However, someone who I was surprised to see pick up a nomination was Benicio del Toro, as Sergio St. Carlos, Willa's karate teacher and a leader of the local undocumented community. He's really good in the role, but it is only a small role. That doesn't really give him the platform to fully flex his acting chops, so I wasn't expecting him to pick up a nomination for Best Supporting Actor, but I'm not complaining, as he was good. Someone that I definitely was surprised to not pick up a nomination was Chase Infinity as Willa Ferguson. This girl is a star, and I cannot believe that this was a film debut. She's playing off DiCaprio and Sean Penn for most of the film, but she more than holds her own. She's got such a natural screen presence, and I fully expect her to get a ton of work after this. She should have been nominated for a work here, but unfortunately, Warner Brothers were a little bit greedy when it came to pushing the potential Oscar nominees, with them platforming her as a Best Lead Actress candidate, rather than Best Supporting Actress, which is a category that I think she would have had more success in. The entire cast is excellent, so it was no surprise to see the film winning for Best Casting, but undoubtedly, the most impressive performer for me was Sean Penn, who gives, arguably, the performance of his career, which says a lot considering he's been fantastic for decades, picking up 2 Academy Awards prior to this. Zach Penn may be past his physical peak, but he's never been more menacing. He's got such intensity to his performance. The way he grunts, even the way he walks, it's so unique. The guy's 99% testosterone, and unquestionably one of the best villains of recent years, so I was delighted to see him picking up the win for Best Supporting Actor. What a performance. A typical Oscar film will be thoughtful, poignant, and deliberately paced, focusing more on subtext and artistry, rather than providing excitement and spectacle to the audience. However, One Battle After Another goes against this trend, with it delivering high-octane thrills at a surprisingly brisk pace. The film throws you straight into the action, there's no waiting around, and it's all expertly done. Cinematographer Michael Bauman and Paul Thomas Anderson shot the hell out of this movie. It feels like such a throwback to those classic action films that we grew up loving, from the subject matter to the way it was shot. The filmmakers have spoken about how they were influenced by films like The French Connection, which you can definitely tell with One Battle After Another. However, great action and spectacle can only carry a film so far. What makes this film truly special is the script. From the storytelling and dialogue to the characterizations, the script delivers on virtually all fronts. It's an engaging story and full to the brim with satire and black comedy. At times, the film is hilarious, but it never goes too far, at the expense of the tension. But in a film like this, you can only generate a feeling of suspense if you care about the characters, and you certainly do. Bob is such a dysfunctional character, and a little bit of a twat if we're being honest, but you can't help but root for him, as he is essentially just a dad trying to look after his kid, even though clearly he's made his fair share of mistakes in his life. He's naturally funny, and you've got no idea what he's going to come out with next. He had me in stitches at times. His relationship with his daughter was delightful to watch. Leonardo DiCaprio and Chase Infinity have great chemistry together, although the characters don't have a normal father-daughter relationship, with Willa arguably the more mature and sensible of the two. But that adds to the charm of it. I loved their dynamic, which allowed for the stakes to feel high, as you want them to be safe and reunited. The film also features a very unique score. Its frenetic use of piano keys comes across as random and uncoordinated, like you wouldn't have it on the background as you do in your washing, but the energy and feel it generates fits the tone of the film perfectly. It's all over the place, just like the characters, who are just winging it and trying to survive. Despite receiving so much acclaim, unfortunately, the film was a disappointment at the box office, with the film grossing just over $200 million on a budget of between $130 and $175 million. And with an extra $70 million spent on marketing, it meant that the film needed to hit $300 million just to break even, which is a real shame. One Battle After Another deserved to do better. It's not a niche film made purely for cinephiles. It's got a broad appeal, like I could show the film to the average person and expect them to enjoy it. And in fairness, the response to the film from audiences was overwhelmingly positive. But when your budget is so high and your lead actor is earning $25 million, it makes it so much harder for the film to make money. So hopefully, Hollywood is able to learn from this, because this is the type of action thriller that we need more of. Ultimately, One Battle After Another won Best Picture because it's not just a well-crafted movie, it's a crowd pleaser that works on almost every level. It's an instant classic, and up there with the very best from Paul Thomas Anderson's impressive filmography. So unsurprisingly, One Battle After Another gets 2 thumbs up from me, as it's certainly worth watching. So, what film do you think deserved to win Best Picture? And what's your favourite Paul Thomas Anderson film? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe for more. And I'll see you next time for another video. Goodbye.